Hey guys, it's Press, don't be depressed. So the OnePlus 8 is out and it costs 700 buckaroos. That's still affordable by 2020 flagship standards, but it is flagship money. I mean, you can get a Pixel 4 nowadays for this money. Now in the past, OnePlus has always launched the bargain devices. Great hardware, some awesome features, lower price, okay cameras, but everyone was letting that slide because they were awesome devices for awesome money. Well, now the OnePlus 8 costs $700, the OnePlus 8 Pro costs $900. People are probably wondering, well, have they worked on improving the cameras? So I snuck out the OnePlus 8 for a few samples around the city and I thought, hey, why not put it against the Pixel 4 XL, the iPhone 11 Pro and even the Galaxy S20 Ultra, which does cost twice as much, but hey, why not? So let's jump in, right? This is the first scene taken with the OnePlus 8. As you can see, pretty great photo. I mean, amazing HDR. You get to see the true color of the sky. You get to see a lot of detail in the shadows. Maybe a little bit of over sharpening, but nothing too annoying. You get to see details in the building. You know, a pretty good picture, I agree. But then, the competition. Check out the iPhone 11 Pro shot. So again, great HDR, blue sky, details in the shadows. However, you will notice that the shadows are deeper and the highlights are brighter, so the shot overall is more dramatic. Also, take note of the nuances in the building's facade, the difference in the color, the coloring of the bricks. So it does show that it's an old building that has stood the test of time. So again, this is the iPhone 11 Pro. And then the OnePlus 8 kind of looks flat now. Still not a bad photo, but it becomes obvious that it has missed some nuances. Then the Galaxy S20 Ultra went on the flat side again. Now the sky is blue, yes, but a bit too vibrant. There's some over sharpening going on around here, around the domes, and it looks kind of funky. The nuance of the building's bricks is lost. You know, detail is sharp. The picture is beautiful, but there are these small differences. And then the Pixel 4 XL, a good mix. So it looks a bit flatter in terms of dynamics, which is not necessarily bad. It looks sharp and the little nuances in the bricks here have been kept. So pretty well done from all phones, and as you can see right off the bat, the OnePlus 8 can actually compete. Maybe it wasn't the best photo here, but it was a pretty good photo. So next up, we have this red theater. Now this is a very challenging shot because we have the sun almost blaring into the camera from the top left here. So I thought that at least one of our phones will fail and give me a very dark image. Well, it wasn't the OnePlus 8 though. Check it out, we can clearly see everything. We can see the details on the building's face, even the dirt spot here. We can see the textures and the engravings. Some shadows are a bit too dark, but that's fine. It's a challenging photo and the OnePlus 8 did amazing. The one gripe I have with the OnePlus shots here is that it's kind of orangish / brownish, not very natural, not very close to reality. Check out the iPhone 11 Pro. A much pinkish color here on the building, which is more close to reality, more realistic overall. Still did amazing with the HDR. The iPhone managed to pull out some more details from the shadows here, but again, the textures are visible, everything is visible. You know, pretty good picture. So iPhone 11, OnePlus 8. Now you see the orange cast, right? Moving on to the Galaxy S20. Now the Galaxy S20 Ultra loves to add some drama to shots. It will always deepen the shadows and keep the highlights bright without losing much detail. So you can see some drama going on in this shot. Moving in closer, nothing is annoyingly over sharpened, which is great. We can see all of the details here. Very nice picture. A bit on the orangish side, but otherwise I like this one a lot. And then the Pixel 4 XL goes the opposite way of the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Instead of adding drama, it goes a bit flat on dynamics, which is again not necessarily bad, depends on what you're looking for, but it did manage to pull out a lot of detail from every point of the photo here. Very sharp, very viewable, if you will. Overall, nice job from all the phones here. This third scene, this is the one place where the OnePlus 8 actually failed. I mean, if I was looking at this photo on its own without even comparing it to others, I would say that's a bad photo. Why? Well, let's start with the building on the right here. This is not the color that should be on this building. This is way too vibrant, way too amped up. I have no idea what the OnePlus 8 did here. Same with the flowers. This is very unnatural, too saturated. Then the leaves here on the left, also very saturated. Now, I do like how it handled the dynamics of the statue. As you can see, the sun is blaring from the right, then there's a shadow on the left. Yet the OnePlus 8 managed to capture all of the details on the statue. It looks sharp, it looks legible, it's very nice. Then on the iPhone 11 Pro, you can actually see that the building here on the right is not supposed to be blaring red, right? And the flowers down here are much more natural, closer to reality. The leaves here look green and not really yellowish, and the statue is again very detailed, very well captured. I love this. The Galaxy S20 Ultra again loves to add its drama, so the shadows on the statue are a bit deeper, but again every detail is visible. So another nice photo. Let's check out the building on the right. You can see again realistic color, then realistic flowers, realistic leaves. So good job. Out of these, probably the S20 Ultra is my favorite picture for this scene. And then the Pixel 4 XL again goes a bit flat, goes not necessarily bad, not my favorite, but still a pretty great photo. Sharp details, realistic colors, amazing. So just for comparison's sake, this is the Pixel 4 XL. Now you can kind of see the colors are like all over the place, not in a nice way. Next up we have this another very challenging shot. The sun was behind me, shining on the building in front of me. Also there were buildings behind me which are casting deep shadows on the street. So immediately we can check out how the OnePlus 8 did. It did its best at trying to pull out some detail from the shadows without sacrificing the highlights, and I'd say it did a pretty fine job. You can see the details of the building. You can kind of see what the storefront here is about. The one gripe I have with this photo is that the building's color is kind of faded and there's some nuance lost. Moving on to the iPhone so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can see that the color of the building should be a bit more vibrant, which is closer to reality, and also the iPhone 11 captured a lot of nuance, a lot of smudges and dirt, because this is a very old building, so you can actually see all of the time that it has survived. And the iPhone also managed to pull out more detail from the shadows here. Still, the OnePlus 8 photo is not bad. The sky color is definitely very nice, but then the iPhone 11 Pro picture is a bit better. And the Galaxy S20 Ultra, again, the building is more vibrant. We can see even more details with the S20 Ultra, the actual strands of moss here, which are fading the facade. And then in the shadows, not as bright as the iPhone 11, but a bit brighter than the OnePlus 8, so a nice middle ground. The sky is a bit too vibrant, too saturated on the S20 Ultra, which I'm not a fan of. And then the Pixel 4 XL, a bit flatter dynamics, kind of a cold, purplish, pinkish cast over everything. The facade is a bit faded, but you can at least see the nuances of dirt and the smudges. And then a lot of detail pulled from the shadows. So the Pixel 4 XL also did a good job with this photo. So far the OnePlus 8 compares, right? Next up, a portrait. Now I picked this scene specifically because I wanted to trick the phones. I knew that the metal bars on the fence on the back is going to throw them off. So immediately in the OnePlus 8 shot you can see that it kind of struggled with where the fake bokeh should begin. You know, it doesn't look very natural. Over here on the top, the very top bar is blurred, and the one below it is not blurred, so the phone was definitely confused. And moving on to the subject, you can see that it's way too saturated, way too vibrant. I have no idea what's going on with these lips here, because I can guarantee that Victor was not wearing lipstick that day, but Overall, not a great portrait from the OnePlus 8. I would have retaken that shot probably a few times. So the iPhone 11 Pro, immediately you can see more natural colors in the face, in the lips, good details, and in the back the bokeh is much more natural, very smooth, coming into focus. And the one place where the iPhone 11 Pro failed was detecting that the building in the background should be blurred, and I kind of knew this would happen on some phones because these metal railings are really throwing them off. So the iPhone detected that the fence is on the foreground and then kind of struggled with figuring out which parts of the building in the background it should blur out. You know, that's for the pixel peepers out there looking at a portrait like this. Pretty great portrait, amazing. So next up, the S20 Ultra, again good colors, a lot of detail lost on the skin here. I have no idea what happened, maybe because the sun was blasting Victor's face, I'm not sure. But the bokeh looks natural, very smooth transitioning here. The railings look okay. The building in the back, again, sometimes blurred, sometimes not, so the S20 Ultra also got a bit thrown off by our test. Otherwise, not a bad portrait, my second favorite so far. And then the Pixel 4 XL, again the bokeh comes in nicely. The fence here is all over the place. The Pixel had no idea which metal bars should be in the background and which in the foreground, as you can see. But otherwise the face looks very detailed, very true to life, very honest. Again, nice colors. So my third favorite, I guess, like the only one that's a major disappointment here is the OnePlus 8 shot, which is this saturated mess. Sorry guys, maybe a software update would fix it. Now time for a selfie. The OnePlus 8 actually surprised me with an amazingly detailed selfie. Every little blemish, every little unshaven hair is visible, like colors all around are nice, except for the skin tone. I have no idea what the OnePlus 8 did with my skin here. It looks a bit weird. Maybe I should have retaken this selfie, but hey, that's what you get when you pull out the OnePlus 8 from your pocket and you take a selfie. Not bad overall, just the skin tone is something's wrong with it. Moving on to the iPhone 11 Pro, you can see much more realistic skin tone, although a bit too saturated for my tastes. Maybe dial it down a bit. Otherwise, again, great detail, every little unflattering blemish is visible, and in the background all of the colors are nice, everything is popping. I like this photo. And the S20 Ultra, also very realistic skin tone without dialing up the vibrancy, so good job Samsung. It kind of lost some details on the face, which is a bit flattering, so I'm not gonna complain. Otherwise, good selfie from the S20 Ultra. And then Pixel 4 XL, pinkish cast, you know the deal. Some details are lost. I actually look very pretty here. You know, my least favorite probably of all four of them. Moving on. Now, time for some night shots. For this first sample, I turned off the night mode on all of the phones. Now, OnePlus calls it nightscape, Google calls it night shot. Look, it's night mode, everything is night mode. So I turned it off, checked out how the phones would do. The OnePlus 8 did not disappoint at all. Great photo. Despite the fact that there's a light source here blaring into the camera, it managed to pull out details, realistic colors, very little noise, very sharp. I like this photo a lot. The iPhone 11 Pro does not do so well when its night mode is off. This is probably the darkest picture of the bunch and the noisiest as well. A bit softer detail, still the colors are close to reality. It's not a bad photo, it's visible, but not as good as the rest. The S20 Ultra, bright, vibrant, some noise here, a bit softer on the details, but again a very good photo considering the conditions, right? And then the Pixel 4 XL, this one has to be my favorite. It's a bit colder than the rest, okay, but so sharp. There's much less noise than the rest. It's very sharp, very realistic. I'm not a fan of the cold cast, but otherwise I love this photo. It's sharp, detailed, beautiful. And then for the last one, I turned night mode on all of the phones. So the OnePlus 8, again, a very pleasant surprise. Check out this crown here. Now this is LED lights and they're blurring into the camera. Still, the OnePlus 8 managed to give us every little detail about the crown. Then we can see the outlines of the glowing letters here. Nothing is over sharpened, nothing is weird. It did lose some definition. So check out the wall here. It kind of looks flat, right? Well, on the iPhone 11 Pro, you can actually see that there's bricks there. So the iPhone 11 Pro kept some definition, but not very sharp details. Everything looks kind of hazy, kind of blurred. And the crown up here, we almost lost all of the details around it. So good job OnePlus 8. Let's see what the S20 did. The S20 Ultra again lost to add drama. The photo looks a bit darker, but the highlights are popping out and nothing is overburned. The letters here look okay. They're kind of over sharpened, which gives them this weird halo effect. And the crown here is still not as good as in the OnePlus 8. We did keep some definition in the bricks of the wall here. Overall, good photo with some cons, as you might expect. Challenging scene, still a good job. And then the Pixel 4 XL, again on the brighter side, a bit flatter in dynamics. Probably my favorite treatment of the glowing letters here. The outlines are perfectly captured. The crown, though, is not. So, funny, the OnePlus 8 did the best job with capturing the details in this glowing crown here. And the definition on the right, kind of there. So all of them did nice. Oh, well, and there you have it. The OnePlus 8 can actually compare with the competition. Yeah, sometimes it fails, but then again, for a $700 device with such awesome specs and awesome features, you can kind of rest assured that you also get a pretty decent camera. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for a full review of the OnePlus 8 and maybe subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it, eh? See ya!